Hi everyone, so before we get into the review today, I just wanted to give you a little fragrance hack. If you've got a fragrance bottle that is not see-through, you can't see how much liquid is left in the bottle. Some of these designs can look really nice that way, but it's a bit of a problem because you don't know when you're about to run out. So here's a little tip that you can use. Some people try shining a light, but that doesn't always work, doesn't always show you. I've seen people have scratched the paint off, but that's a shame. It scratches the bottle. If you spray on the fragrance atomizer like this, and you try it several times and nothing comes out, then that probably means the fucking thing's empty.
Nothing can stand in his way, so you better start to play, because Mr. Smelly is now on his way.
Okay, so I'm going to be starting a new series today, and that's my 10 out of 10 fragrances. These are fragrances that I would rate a 10 out of 10. For me, they are perfect. They're perfect 10s. It doesn't mean that the ones that are 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 I know any better than the perfumier, or I can say what they could have done differently. It's just these ones are ones I want to help people find out what I think are really the absolute classics, ones that couldn't be any better. So the first one is a recent discovery for me, and this is Histoires de Parfums 1725, sometimes known as 1725 Casanova, because it is linked with the historical, famous kind of playboy, lover man figure Casanova from the 18th century in Italy. He was a figure who's probably more complex than his legend, his widely perceived legend would have us believe, but he is renowned as a famous romancer of women, so much so that the word Casanova actually has become a noun, a word that we can use to describe a man who has a lot of success with women. Sound familiar, guys? This fragrance came out in the year 2001. It's an aromatic fougere style fragrance, and I'm going to list the notes quickly. First, in the top we've got the bergamot, citrus notes, grapefruit and licorice. In the mid we have star anise and lavender, and in the base we have vanilla, almond, sandalwood, cedar and amber. So how does this fragrance smell? I've sprayed some on a card about an hour or so ago. Well, it opens up with a little bit of freshness. It's not, you never get loads of citrus with this one. There is a sort of lemony, bergamot, grapefruit kind of note in there, but I couldn't really pick out strong grapefruit or bergamot or lemon as being really obvious, but there is a little bit of a nice, fresh, crisp opening, but straight from the start, there are other things going on with this one. What you get with this one is a really nice barbershop type of feel, but with a lot more sweetness than some of the classic barbershop scents. Some of the most dominant smells for me in this one of them's lavender. You get a really strong lavender note, and there's also a lot of sweetness and vanilla in this fragrance for me. So it's a very modern, dandified kind of barbershop scent. What's so good about this one is that it's got a huge amount of complexity, a lot of different facets going on. It's fresh, it's a little bit powdery, there's a lot of sweetness in it, there's some woodiness, and there is a little bit of a crisp citrus freshness, and somehow that could all be a bit of a mess, but it's been so skillfully done and so skillfully blended that it creates a really rarefied, well presented aura about the person wearing it. It's often compared to MDCI Parfums Invasion Barbar. Some people actually mock it a little bit and say it's the poor man's version of that because it is slightly less expensive. There's a little bit of passing similarity, but I don't think they're hugely similar. This one seems much more sweet than that fragrance, and the licorice note in there is one of the other outstanding features that I really enjoy. It reminds me actually in many ways of Lolita Lempicka, or perhaps Lolita Lempicka Masculine Midnight, which I have that one. It's a flanker of the original Lolita Lempicka Masculine, which has a very pronounced woodiness and a very significant licorice note. So there's a bit of that in there. It reminds me a bit of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Mal, and in fact even of Amouage Reflection Man, which is sort of the niche version of Le Mal. So if you like those fragrances, this one's worth checking out. When all these facets combine and as the fragrance dries down, that sweetness and woodiness stays around and the lavender element stays strong. So it's got this barbershop thing there because of that lavender and the fact that it has this kind of fresh aura about it. But the fragrance is much more modern smelling than some things like perhaps Yves Saint Laurent's Rive Gauche, a really popular barbershop scent that does have a real retro feel. Somehow this one actually feels more modern than that, although it actually came out 2 years before it. In terms of when to wear this fragrance, I think this would make a great fragrance for nights out, for any kind of evening wear. It would be good for dates. It's quite a seductive smell. It would be good for spring, autumn and winter. Maybe not in summer because it is a little bit sweet. It could get a little bit syrupy and sweet, more so than you'd want in hot weather, but pretty versatile. I probably wouldn't wear it to work because I think it could give the impression that you're more interested in seducing your colleagues rather than getting on with the job that you're there to do. In my case, that impression would be correct, but I don't want everyone to know that. The performance on this fragrance is excellent. It sticks around for hours and hours. Other reviewers have talked about a good 8 to 10 hours. I never try and measure things that accurately because I don't trust myself to be that accurate, but I can confirm that it is a very strong performing scent. Projection is good. Longevity is good. It's not beast mode, but sometimes you don't want that, so it's just shy of being beast mode. It's a strong, good performing scent. The complexity, the niche quality of the ingredients really come across when you're wearing this one, and it develops in a really nice way. It's on your clothes the next day, and it's excellent. If you compare it to other things that you might also be considering, things like Invasion Barbar, it's a little bit cheaper than that one. It's even, I think, a little bit cheaper than Reflection Man by Amouage. If you're looking for an aromatic fougere scent that doesn't smell dated, that has an air of dandyishness about it, and perhaps gives you some of the things you like about Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Mal, some of the things that you might like about Invasion Barbar, and a really high quality lavender with some licorice. If you think that's something that would appeal to you, this one is really worth checking out. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 just because it's quite unique. It's got a little bit of the barbershop feel that I love, but it's not going to put off other people who don't particularly normally care for that style. So I've got friends who don't like my heavy aromatic fougere. They don't like Rive Gauche too much. They don't like Bois de Portugal when I wear it that much, but they do like this one. For me, this fragrance has everything I like. I love the smell myself. Other people enjoy it. It's different. It's really unique. Not many people are going to be wearing it, and the prices actually are not bad for a niche fragrance. I went on the Histoires de Parfums site today, so a 4 fluid ounce or 120 mils is $185, or 2 fluid ounces, that's 60 mils, $105. So pretty inexpensive for a niche fragrance. I've got the 120 mil. The bottle is really nice too. 10 out of 10 for me. I couldn't fault it. Performance great, scent great, uniqueness pretty much there, and well worth checking out. So definitely for me, a Hall of Fame in my new series, 10 out of 10 fragrances. More coming soon, some of which I've mentioned before on the channel, some not. Let me know what you think about this one. Have you tried it? What are your 10 out of 10 fragrances? I'm going to be doing cheapies, designer ones, and some niche ones. I don't have any prejudices, so there will be some less expensive fragrances that I'm going to give 10 out of 10. Can you guess what they might be? Thanks very much for watching. Remember, whatever you are doing in life, let's project, and you will project quite well if you're wearing this one. Have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.